Big SEC matchup right here at pregame.tv. The matchup between Arkansas and South Carolina. South Carolina laying 13, total of 52.5. It's Marco's best bet. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. This line's been dropping, and I, for one, have not been able to figure out why the money is coming in on the Arkansas Razorbacks, bringing it down to 13. Their offensive line doesn't give Wilson any time at all to throw in the pocket. And then you've got a team that they're going to face, a defense that has 30 sacks on the season, talking about the Gamecocks pass rush, which I think is going to make life miserable on Wilson. Now, I know Lattimore's not there, but he's not the only guy on this team, South Carolina team, that can run the football, Marco.
Well, that's the whole thing, and the public overreacts to an injury. And let's face it, I mean, Marcus Lattimore is, you don't just replace a Marcus Lattimore. But this is a big-time program now, South Carolina. Steve Spurrier's always been a good recruiter. He's got guys, waiting to get in there and get their shot, that a lot of these guys probably could be starters on, a lot of other college football teams. So the public's always going to overreact. I like to look for value, and I'm glad to see the line coming down. Let them keep taking the line down. I guess that's going to kind of give you a little sway of which way I'm going in this game. But you hit the nail on the head. Arkansas, they can't stop anybody defensively. And offensively, they're going up against one of the best defenses in the SEC. With 2 weeks to prepare, they're going to be a little bit angry coming into this game here. I look for them to shut down Arkansas, who's got a lame duck coach sitting there.
Well, when I like a side, I like to look at both sides. I want to see if there's a reason that I should get off of that team that I happen to like. So I'm looking at Arkansas, and I see, okay, they're giving up about 2.5 yards per carry in their last 3 or 4 games. Real strong run defense the last few weeks. But let's not fail to mention those numbers came against Auburn, Kentucky, Ole Miss. Ole Miss not bad, but Auburn, Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Tulsa. This is the same defense that gave up 110 combined points to A&M and Bama in their last 2 big step-up games. And to me, Brian, this is a step-up game for them.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you're asking about why the line's going down. I think there's 2 reasons why the line may be going down. Number one is Arkansas 9-2 against the spread the last 11 times they played them. But the last 3 years, they've beaten them outright by 16, 21, and 17 points. The second reason may be some of the guys at the golf shops might have been given some little tips because, they just had the week off, and Spurrier's probably golfing half of that time. So that's a good handicapping angle there because, he's, from everything I've heard, he's not into it like he used to be. And a lot of that has to do with he likes to golf.
I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, he's well into his 60s, and you get to a certain point, you want to relax a little bit, and he's done just about everything he can. He's played in national championship games, and he's even won a couple, or at least one national championship with the Florida Gators. So I can understand one to settle down a little bit, but I still think Spurrier at maybe 75 to 80% is worth at least 2 touchdowns over John L. Smith at 100%. Anyway, Marco, this one's your video best bet.
All right, guys, we got back on track with our best bet last week. We're 8-3 for the season with these plays, so let's keep it going. I'm going to go with South Carolina, and if you guys have been following me for a long time, I like to use something called the injured player theory, and that's what we've got in play here. You've got Marcus Lattimore. He's out. Anytime a team loses a superstar player, that first game that they play, the rest of the team's going to play at a higher intensity level. They're going to give 110% to compensate for that loss. They also have Connor Shaw. He's going to have a big game against this defense of Arkansas. South Carolina has scored 31 or more points in every game this year against teams not named Florida or LSU. They just dominated. Nobody has been able to stop them. I see them rolling it up this week. We're going to go with South Carolina. We're getting line value because everybody's looking at the last game. Hey, Tennessee was a 38-35 game. Guys, if you look in that game, yeah, they lost Lattimore in that game, but that was right after they came off back-to-back games against Georgia, Florida, and LSU. It was a horrible scheduling spot for them. They were beat up. They were tired. They had a week off to rest. You're going to see the South Carolina we saw at the beginning of the season. They win. I've got them in a blowout, 41-17. That's my video best bet.
That would cover the 13-point spread.
Yes, it would.
No mathematician, but I could figure that one out. I'll tell you what, Arkansas, here they are, a preseason top 10 football team that's now 4-5, and they need to win at least 2 of these last 3 games of the season to become bowl eligible. And must win means you weren't good enough to not be in a must-win situation at this time of year. After this game, they've got a roadie at Miss State. They've got a season finale at home against LSU. Arkansas is not going bowling. He's Marco D'Angelo. He says lay the points with South Carolina. When we come back, Arizona State and Southern Cal. We'll have that in just a couple of minutes here at pregame.tv.